Hello and welcome to NRL 360 Rugby League from every angle. Thanks to Ford Ranger joining me again, the great Gordon Tallis. Let's bring the journos in, Brent Reid and Bulldog Richie, and both State of Origin teams have been named. Gordy, are you happy with the Queensland team?
Yeah, I'm happy. There's no real surprise. Like a few injuries have made some decisional changes, but I spoke to Billy through the Magic Round, and he said we're going to pick a real competitive side, and I think that's super competitive.
Sure, he's ready. Some big calls?
Well, the biggest one's obviously Reece. Well, the halfback was a decision as well, but Reece is the big one, right? Leaving Reece Walsh. I'm surprised he's completely out of the team. I thought he might, if he wasn't fullback, maybe he'd be on the bench, but it's a big call. We'll talk about it.
Well, let's cross live now to Brisbane, where Queensland coach Billy Slater joins us. Billy, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. A huge decision to leave Reece Walsh out. We're just talking about it. Can you talk us through how you come to that?
Yeah, look, I just think when you look at our footy team, I think every player has really earned the opportunity to play for Queensland in game one, and I've got a really high opinion of Reece. I love what he brings to a footy team, but I just thought PONGA had earned that chance to play in the number one jersey. That's his position that he plays in every week. He knows it inside out, and I think he's in the form of his career. I think he's really balanced with his life at the moment. He's really balanced with his footy, and he brings a lot to the table. So, tough decision, but that's the one we went with.
Hey, Billy, it's Gordy, mate. Good luck in 10 days. But I just want to say, there was a lot of talk about the number 7. It was obviously DCE. There was talk of Ponga. How hard was it coming up, and especially the way Clifford played on Saturday night as well?
Yeah, the one thing that I absolutely do, Gordy, is make sure that I explore all options. I think that's my responsibility when you're selecting the team. You spend the time and do the work behind the scenes to make sure you understand everyone's habits and what they're going to bring to the footy team. And I certainly did that. But at the end of the day, I think Sammy Walker's ready. I think he's doing a great job at his club. He went through a bit of an injury last year that he had to build some resilience and work through that. And he's 23 now, been in and around the team a couple of times, and looking forward to having him a part of our footy team. I think he'll have the opportunity to unlock some of our players, and we can support him as well. So we want to get his game on.
Hey, Billy, Brent Reid here. You mentioned that you explored all the options, and obviously there was a lot of mileage over the weekend about Ponga potentially playing in the halfback role. How realistic was that? How seriously did you consider that option?
Yeah, that was a consideration. Like I said, to be honest, I think about the game so much, and sometimes I can think about it too much, but that's my job as the Queensland coach. If you're not exploring all the options and you're considering everything, well, you're not doing your job properly. So at the end of the day, the team didn't get selected until 6:30 on Sunday night, last night, when Gene Miles, myself and Darren Lockyer all sat down around a table and we spoke about this footy team, and we thought it was the best option. So everything before that is innuendo, it's speculation, and it's attention. I get it. It's a part of the game. It's the exciting part of State of Origin. We'll talk about it, but nothing is realistic until it's actually selected.
Hey, Billy, it's Dean. Richie, have you or will you speak to the NRL about how the game will be refereed, and did you select your side on how you think it may be adjudicated?
Yeah, it's probably the question that I've been asked most today, Dean. I don't know why, because I actually don't think it's an issue. To answer it, no, I won't be reaching out to the NRL. Players play the game every week and they build habits. It's really hard for them to change those habits. I think referees are the same. It's extremely hard for them to go out and referee on a weekly basis and then ask someone to go and change the way that they referee. I just don't think it's realistic. The game is a different game to what it was in the 90s, and it's refereed different. So I think it'll just be a replica of how the game is now. It evolves and players evolve as well. So, no, and to the second point of the question, definitely not. I haven't selected the side on how I think it's going to be adjudicated. The players have earned this opportunity because of the habits that they have outlaid for their club and what they've done for this jersey in the past. So it's purely on their own actions.
Hey, Billy, talking about what players have done in the past, I've really liked what Max Plath has done. Talk us through that decision, mate.
Yeah, good. I think you need two things to earn the opportunity to play for Queensland. Number one, you need to outlay the habits that are at a standard of this footy team. And he's been doing that for a long period of time. And number two, you need the opportunity to be presented in front of you. And to be honest, the opportunity probably wasn't there, but the way that he's played, he's just forced that opportunity. I remember sitting at home just thinking, boy, you can't leave this lad out. What he's bringing to the Dolphins and how he's contributing to their footy team is something that I value in a player, and I know this team values. So he's really pushed his way into the starting lineup.
Yeah, Billy, and I think probably one of the special jobs being the Queensland coach would be ringing some players. It must have been a nice phone call to Tommy Flegler. He's been out for a long time and he's been going great for the Redcliffe Dolphins.
Yeah, it was. Like, obviously, I spoke to a handful of debutants, and they were great, Gordy. But the one to Fleg was quite emotional. Actually, I could feel Fleg sort of his mind going back through the journey of the last couple of years. It would have been a tough road. I've been on the end of that, not knowing whether you're going to get back and play again, and to get back to this level. It was one of the more heartfelt conversations that I had on the phone last night, and it's been quite a journey. He's one of the greatest front rowers of the modern era. I think he's right up there. Before he had that injury, he was playing for Queensland, and now he's worked his way back there, and we're certainly going to need his toughness next Wednesday night.
Hey, Billy, I want to ask about one of your more experienced players. Cam Munster's form has been a bit up and down this season, but I assume he was always going to be there. But how relieved were you in the last couple of weeks when he found some form again?
Yeah, look, I've seen things in Cameron's game over the last couple of months, the effort side of things, and sometimes it's not always happening for you when your team's not going overly well as well. So, but one thing that doesn't drop in Cameron's game is his effort. He puts himself in the picture a lot of the times, and it was always going to turn for him. It's great that the last couple of weeks he's found a little bit of form. He scored a couple of tries, even made a couple of tackles. But he's a wonderful player, and he's never let Queensland down. So, yeah, that was never an issue.
Good on you, Billy. We appreciate your time. You've picked a very strong team, and good luck for the series, mate.
Thanks, Braith. Thanks, boys.
There he is, coach of the Maroons, Billy Slater. Gordy, every time we interview him, he's so impressive.
Yeah.
He gives his time, he speaks the truth, he's very honest, and he is a coach that I would assume the players would love playing for.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I saw him Magic Round, and it was going around on who was going to be picked for Queensland. There was media everywhere, and we had a quick chat. He goes, Gordy, we're going to have a real competitive side that want to go there. And he's just... When he talks, you just get a bit of confidence. So I could only imagine being in the dressing room. And I remember, like, we were talking about a player, and it might have been a couple of years ago, and he just said Origin players miss out on Origin football. Yeah. And it's true. Like, if you look at Dylan Edwards, like, you look at so many players from both states that have missed out on this. There's some great players that won't get a chance to play.
He leaves no stone unturned.
That's
so,
right.
every selection that he makes is with intent and for good reason, because he's a hard worker and he watches a lot of video, and he's just... As he said, he's sometimes an overthinker when it comes to rugby league. Now, Bulldog.
Another overthinker.
An underthinker.
Yeah, actually, I agree. What was Bulldog's bite today?
A Bulldog's bite was about 20 reasons why I dislike Gordon and his Queensland cohorts up there.
Here we go again.
The cluster of
Why do you do this every year?
So I've gone through the A to Z.
Every year?
Well, I'm allowed to have an opinion. That's what Bulldog's bite is all about.
Because last week you had
I went to the A to
players.
Z and I went through every single letter.
Is that 20? A to Z?
It's 26.
Yeah, okay, just wanted to make sure.
Well, it's 20 for you. You were in there twice, I might add, for being who you are. You're in there for Brett Hodgson, for the ragdoll, and for what you said to Bill Harrigan. Sydney-born Bill Harrigan all those years ago. Naughty.
Now I know why you don't go to Magic Round.
Why is that? Because the Queenslanders.
All right, that was a huge call. We obviously just spoke to Billy about his selections, but let's get to it now. Reece Walsh left out of the team, Kalen Ponga in. Totally understand Ponga, from my opinion, getting the spot. He's in great form, incumbent. But Reece left out of the team entirely. Gordy, what's your take on this?
Well, it's a tough one, right? If you look back on last series, Callum Ponga was the fullback in game 1 and 2. Tabu Waifodo come in game 3. I'm thinking if Tommy Dearden may have been there with a bit more stability around the ruck, Reece might have been at the back for a little bit more X factor. I just think with the way it's gone, having someone like Callum Ponga, and as I said, he started the series last year. Reece was unbelievable last year. He was probably the best player in the world for that 8 weeks, and he was untouchable.
But he was injured before Origin last year, so that's unfortunate, right?
That is.
Then he was unbelievable after Origin to win the competition.
I thought Ponga would have been, like before Tommy did, I thought Ponga would have been the perfect 14. And Reece Walsh there, and you can always put him on if something goes wrong. That's the way I would have went. But the way Callum Ponga has played this year, where Newcastle are at, he didn't have his greatest game Sunday. But if he doesn't play, they probably still don't win. He's just so important. The way he brings the ball back, he's got a great kicking game. So does Reece. Like Reece has.
Would you have had Reece in the team at all?
Well, I think Reece is either fullback. I don't think he can come on at 14 and play in the middle if a hooker gets injured. I think Callum's probably a bigger body, and you can probably move him around. Yeah, do you know what? There's probably an argument.
Even in Ezra,
there is an argument
when they've got Ezra.
Yeah, like an 18. Yeah, like Shibasaki. Could he have been there? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, like you'd think so.
I think Reece needed to shoot the lights out on Sunday. He didn't do that, right? The Broncos struggled. He struggled. So I think that was his final fling, right? I think he had to have a big game, and he didn't do that. So,
do you think he should have been in the squad?
Look, I probably would have had him in the squad somewhere. I would have had him on the bench because I think Shibasaki hasn't been great. Ezra hasn't been great either. And I just think Reece got the capacity to come on and change the game, win the game for you. So I would have, but Billy's a genius, man. He keeps winning, so he knows what he's doing.
No, I was stunned, I've got to be honest. When the side came out, I thought, this can't be true, that he would leave this kid out. Reece Walsh last year, let's be honest, won that premiership almost single-handedly. Yes. He goes in the Kangaroo Tour, he slaughters England. He was the best player in the game. I was stunned that he couldn't find a position for him in his extended squad. And as you rightly pointed out, you two, Ezra Mam's there and Gebet Shibasaki. This kid is dynamite, he's box office, and I'm absolutely stunned that he isn't in that side somewhere.
That could have made you A to Z.
No, you're in there too often.
Is it a brave call from Billy, this?
It's brave.
Of course it is.
Oh, I think, you know what, brave? I think it's almost a career-defining decision.
Career-defining already?
Well, if Billy gets this wrong and they go back to Reece Walsh for game 2, 1-0 down, I get the feeling that Queensland will be very agitated at the call because he's...
No. It's Callum
This is
Ponga.
a massive call, Gord.
Billy's a god in Queensland.
No,
That's
it's
what
not.
he's done with that Origin team. I don't think this call will impact
There
his
is not
legacy.
much between those two. Right, we're going to talk about New South Wales. There is not much between those two guys. Like, let's be honest. Braith, I'll ask you, is there much between them?
No. And like, again, like I can understand a little bit of an uproar and
yes,
you know, Reece Walsh fans being disappointed and shocked like the great Dean Ritchie over here. But if you actually peel it back, and I was trying to say it before, you know, the incumbent Ponga in great form. His team, the Newcastle Knights, are probably the biggest improvers this season. Last year, Reece was a bit unlucky. Injured before Origin, doesn't play, they win the series, kills at the back end of the year, again gets injured before this series.
What is he, 3 weeks back with a broken eye socket or whatever?
And he didn't play great on the weekend because he's coming back from injury and all that. So, yeah, the Ducks didn't line up for him, you know, in a way as well. Yeah. We know he's brilliant and we know he could play full-back and do a job. Billy knows that. And even off the bench, he's got that individual X factor, and you call the box office. It's true, right? But, again, I suppose you've got to trust Billy on this one. And another one where Billy's made a big call is that 7 position. Yeah. Sam Walker makes his debut, and there was so much talk around this over the last 2 or 3 weeks about who was going to play. It was Clifford, it was Reedy declaring Callum Ponga was going to play half on the weekend.
I don't know if I declared
I think you
declared it.
Do I?
Yeah,
okay.
I think
I'm pretty sure he did. It's all right, you get things wrong, Reedy, you know.
I declare, okay.
Mate,
I'll wear it.
It was a double page spread, I believe.
It didn't have my name on it. Yeah. But I'm not going to throw anyone else under the bus. I'll cop the blame. I'll cop the bullets, Braith, because that's what good team members do. So I'll cop the bullets, right?
I'm glad you got it out.
Yeah. But I think it's a great call, picking Sammy Walker. Actually, you know, going back to Reece, I actually don't think there's an uproar that he's out of the team. I think that shows the faith they've got in Billy and how well Caelan's going.
But it's more a fan thing, right?
Yeah. But I think once they made that call to play Ponga at fullback, Sam Walker's got to be a halfback. I said that in this show. I said, Sam's served his apprenticeship. He's a guy who I think is going to excel on the big stage. And I thought, while Sam didn't have a great game at the weekend in attack, he defended really well. And that's the one concern around Sammy Walker, his defence. And I think I don't think he missed a tackle at the weekend. Or if he did, it was only one or two. So, I think it's the right call. I think once you made that decision, as I said, to play Ponga at fullback, Sam Walker has to be your halfback.
Gordy, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I thought they were all pretty even. Like, DCE come back in, go backwards. Clifford played great on the weekend.
Good, yeah.
Gave himself.
Well, he mustn't have been in contention, Clifford, because he played great and Semi had an average game.
Yeah.
And they still went with Semi. So he must have been front runner the whole time.
But I think what Semi's done in the last 2 or 3 years as a player, we all know the talent that he has. So I have no problem with Sam Walker. And between he and Alan Lang, well, he's not Alan Lang because he's Sam Walker, but there's a bit of Ipswich, a little small guy, got the great kicking game. So it's going to be intriguing the way he plays.
The only possible negative I see with the spine there with Kalen, Munster, Walker and even Harry there is the kicking game, long kicking game. That's the only kind
Kalen's got a long kick on him.
He's got a decent long kick. I'm not saying he doesn't. They've all got long kicks on them already. I mean, the most effective ones. I thought Reece has got a pretty long kicking game.
the best long kicking game. He's not got
So that's the only, I'm only saying it's not a huge...
Geez, you're nitpicking, Braith.
Well, I don't think
You obviously can't see many flaws in this team.
What's the most important
You
thing?
sound concerned to me, but anyway.
In Origin, it's very important, the long kicking game.
Field position.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Would you agree with that?
Well, I haven't played Origin. I'll defer to you on that. Well, I did play Origin, actually, but another sport, but anyway.
Here we go again.
Oh, please.
Do you call that State of Origin
It
playing
was
soccer?
State of Origin, mate.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Callum Ponga, he's got a very good kicking game, Callum Ponga. I think he spoke about his kicking game on the weekend, actually, was fantastic. So I'm not worried about that at all.
Okay.
Munster's kicking game's okay too, both.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. It's probably better than okay.
And Harry's deceiving out of dummy half
There
as
is
well.
more options there than just Reece.
Look, I think with the rule changes, right, and that's what Billy just alluded to, I think it'll be a little bit freer around the ruck. It's going to be a little bit more open. I don't think... So
suit Sam Walker,
most sides get to the 40 now or 50. You know what I mean? Like most sides are getting, like even the sides down the bottom, like then they are all kicking from about the 40 or 50. Like there's no big long 20 or 30.
Sorry about that, guys. I'll take that back.
No, mate, but
I'm G'ing up. But if you look at that, like you talk about Cameron Munster and you talk about Sam Walker, they do play on the advantage line too, and they're very instinctive players, and they play what they see. And again, Billy's in that interview is assuming that the rules will be the same in Origin. He's not calculating for big change. So Ponga's the same, right? So they've got a great team. I'm by no means, putting their team down or thinking there's any wrong decisions there. It's just one area I thought, very important.
Cleary and Moses are fantastic with their kicking game. And obviously we've got Harry Grant that can kick, and we've got Ponga. So we've got 2 extra kickers. I would say that, Ponga kicks better than Tedesco. But
definitely.
But they've got two of the best.
I think it's a fair knock on Sam, though, when we do discuss his defensive deficiencies.
I'll go at him.
Yeah, he's 78 Ks. Hormoli Olakaladu's 113. So, let's be clear here. You know who's going to chase who. That's about a 38K difference.
They'll be going at Semi.
100% they will.
He's going to know.
So if they can get him one-on-one with Hormoli, it's going to be damaging.
He's going to need his back rows to help him.